بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful.
Assalamu alaikum. Today I have very amazing video, and Chatgpt and I today we are going to be talking about the life of Jesus in Islamic perspective and the mother of Jesus and her life. This is 100% in Islamic perspective, not the Christianity. So if you are here, please subscribe, support this channel. This is a very educational based video, so you can learn more things that you may not know. Let's get to this video. Today I want to talk to you about Prophet Isa, Jesus.
Sure. Jesus, known as Issa in Arabic, is a highly respected prophet in Islam. What particular aspects about him would you like to discuss?
I want to talk to you about where is he right now.
In Islamic belief, Jesus is considered to be alive and in a special place with God. Many Muslims believe he will return before the Day of Judgment to restore justice. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's okay. Go deeper into this topic.
Sure. In Islam, Jesus is seen as a messenger who performed miracles and brought a message from God. After his crucifixion, Muslims believe he was not killed, but raised to heaven by God. His return is viewed as a significant event where he will defeat falsehood and unite people under true faith. This belief highlights his role as a symbol of hope and justice. Does that align with what you've heard before?
Yes, go deeper into this topic. Will Jesus come back?
Many Muslims believe that when Jesus returns, he will clarify misunderstandings about his message and correct false beliefs. He is expected to unite believers, lead them in prayer, and establish justice. His return is often associated with the end times, where he will confront the false Messiah, known as the Antichrist or Dajjal. This event signifies a restoration of faith and the ultimate triumph of good over evil. What are your thoughts on this perspective?
Will Jesus clarify the misconceptions?
Yes, many Muslims believe that when Jesus returns, he will clarify misconceptions about his life and message. He will reaffirm the oneness of God and correct misunderstandings about his divinity. This act of clarification is seen as crucial for uniting people and guiding them back to true faith. How do you feel about that idea?
Go deeper into this topic.
In Islamic tradition, Jesus' return is a pivotal moment. It's believed he will emphasize that he was a servant and messenger of God, not divine himself. He will likely address issues like the Trinity and misconceptions about his crucifixion. Jesus' teachings will focus on worshiping one God and living a righteous life. His return is also seen as a time when he will restore justice and peace, bridging divides among believers. This is significant because it reinforces the Islamic view of unity among all prophets. How do you think this perspective shapes the understanding of Jesus in Islam compared to Christianity?
Well, this is perfect. I want you to go more in details.
Sure. In Islam, Jesus or Isa is highly revered as one of the greatest prophets. His story includes miraculous events, like his virgin birth and performing miracles, which showcase God's power. However, unlike in Christianity, Muslims do not see him as the Son of God or part of a divine trinity. When Jesus returns, he is expected to come as a just ruler. He will establish a period of peace, known as the Golden Age, where truth prevails. This era will involve him defeating the Dajjal, the false Messiah, symbolizing the triumph of good over evil. Additionally, Jesus will lead the believers in prayer, uniting them in worship of one God. This act emphasizes the continuity of God's message through all prophets, highlighting the importance of community in faith. This view contrasts with Christian beliefs about Jesus' nature and role, creating a rich dialogue between the two faiths. What aspects of this topic interest you the most?
The miracles he performed. Can you talk to us about that?
Absolutely. In Islam, Jesus is known for performing several miracles by God's permission. Some key miracles include healing the sick, giving sight to the blind, and even raising the dead. One notable miracle is the ability to speak as an infant, proclaiming his servitude to God. He also created a bird from clay and breathed life into it, showcasing his unique relationship with God. These miracles are seen as signs of his prophethood and God's power, not as evidence of divinity. They serve to strengthen faith in God's messengers and emphasize the importance of belief in the unseen. Are there any specific miracles you want to delve deeper into?
Can you talk to us about Jesus' mother?
Certainly. Jesus' mother, Mary, known as Maryam in Arabic, is highly honored in Islam. She is regarded as one of the most righteous women and a symbol of purity. The Quran describes her miraculous conception of Jesus, emphasizing that she was a virgin when she gave birth. This event is seen as a miracle by God's will. Mary is often praised for her devotion and strength, especially during challenging times. She has a dedicated chapter in the Quran named after her, highlighting her story and virtues. Muslims hold a deep respect for her, viewing her as a role model for faith and piety. What specific aspects of Mary's story would you like to explore further?
After she gave birth to Jesus, what happened to her?
After giving birth to Jesus, Mary faced significant challenges. The Quran describes her initial fear and concern about how people would react to her miraculous pregnancy. God reassured her, guiding her to seek refuge and sustenance. As Jesus grew, Mary raised him in a caring environment, facing societal scrutiny and judgment. Despite this, she remained steadfast in her faith. The Quran emphasizes her unwavering devotion to God and her crucial role in Jesus' life. Mary's story reflects themes of resilience, faith, and maternal strength. Do you want to know more about her experiences or any specific events?
Yes.
After Jesus' birth, Mary faced the challenge of explaining her situation to her community. When she returned to her people with baby Jesus, they questioned her about the miracle. In response, she was instructed by God to remain silent and to point to Jesus, who then spoke as an infant, defending her and declaring his prophetic mission.
Correct.
As Jesus grew, Mary continued to support him. The Quran highlights her unwavering faith in God and her role in nurturing a prophet. Throughout her life, she faced trials, but remained committed to her faith and duty as a mother. Her story emphasizes the importance of trust in God during difficult times. Is there a particular part of her life you're curious about?
Yes, if you can go more into her life.
Mary's life is filled with profound moments of faith and resilience. After giving birth, she withdrew to a remote place to avoid the judgment of her community.
She just cut out sometime.
As Jesus grew, Mary played a crucial role in his upbringing, teaching him values and faith. The Quran emphasizes her dedication to God, highlighting her as a model of piety. Mary faced challenges, including societal pressures and misconceptions about her status as an unwed mother. Yet she remained steadfast, trusting in God's plan. Her narrative underscores themes of patience, faith, and the strength of women in the face of adversity. Her legacy continues to inspire many, both in Islam and beyond. Is there any specific event or teaching related to Mary that you'd like to explore further?
What happened after she got pregnant?
After Mary became pregnant, she experienced a mix of fear and uncertainty. She sought solitude to cope with the situation. During this time, she was reassured by God, who provided her with comfort and guidance. When she returned to her community with Jesus, she faced skepticism and accusations. When questioned, she was instructed to remain silent and point to Jesus. Miraculously, he spoke as an infant, affirming his prophethood and defending her. Following his birth, Mary continued to nurture and protect Jesus, facing challenges but remaining devoted to her faith. Her story illustrates the strength and resilience of a mother's love. Would you like to know more about a specific aspect of her journey?
Talk to us what happened to Jesus before he went up.
Before Jesus was raised to heaven, he faced significant challenges. According to Islamic belief, he preached God's message, performed miracles, and gathered followers. However, he also encountered opposition from some leaders who rejected his teachings. As tensions grew, it is believed that God saved Jesus from being killed. Instead of being crucified, he was raised to heaven, protecting him from his enemies. This event emphasizes his status as a prophet and God's plan for him. Jesus' departure is seen as part of a divine plan, leading to his eventual return to fulfill his role in the end times. Would you like to explore more about his teachings or the context of his life during that period?
Yes.
During his life, Jesus focused on spreading the message of monotheism and calling people to worship one God. He taught about compassion, forgiveness, and righteousness, emphasizing the importance of faith and good deeds. Jesus performed many miracles to demonstrate God's power, including healing the sick and feeding the hungry. These acts were meant to inspire faith and illustrate his message. Despite his miracles and teachings, he faced resistance from religious authorities who felt threatened by his influence. This led to growing tensions, and ultimately God intervened to protect him from harm. His teachings and actions continue to resonate in both Christianity and Islam, highlighting themes of love, mercy, and justice. Is there a particular teaching of Jesus that you find interesting?
Can you repeat the last message in the Philippines language?
I can't translate directly, but I can summarize it for you. Jesus taught about worshiping one God, compassion, and forgiveness. He performed miracles to inspire faith, but faced resistance from religious leaders. Ultimately, God protected him from harm. His teachings continue to resonate, emphasizing love and justice. Would you like to know more about a specific aspect?
Yes.
What specific aspect would you like to know more about? We can discuss Jesus' teachings, his miracles, or his role in the end times. Just let me know.
His role in the end times.
In the context of the end times, Jesus is believed to return to fulfill significant roles. He will clarify misconceptions about his message, lead the faithful, and restore justice. His return will be marked by confronting the Dajjal, or false messiah, symbolizing the triumph of truth over falsehood. During this time, he is expected to unite believers, emphasizing the worship of one God. His presence will signify a period of peace and righteousness before the day of judgment. This belief highlights his importance not only in Islam, but also in the broader context of faith. Is there a specific aspect of his role during the end times that you'd like to explore further?
Will Jesus will be praying as a Muslim?
Yes, in Islamic belief, when Jesus returns, he will pray as a Muslim, affirming the oneness of God. He will lead the followers in prayer, showing his role as a servant of God. This act emphasizes his alignment with the teachings of Islam and the continuity of God's message through all prophets. Would you like to discuss more about how this reflects on interfaith perspectives?
Yes.
The belief that Jesus will pray as a Muslim highlights the common ground between Islam and Christianity. It emphasizes that all prophets, including Jesus, share the same fundamental message of monotheism and submission to God. This perspective encourages dialogue between the two faiths, as it shows respect for Jesus' role in both traditions. It underscores the idea that despite differences, there is a shared heritage of worshiping one God and striving for righteousness. Understanding these similarities can foster mutual respect and bridge gaps between communities. What specific aspects of interfaith dialogue interest you the most?
Well, that's all. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad we could discuss this.
Can you talk to us about the mother of Jesus, the way she used to dress?
Mary, the mother of Jesus, is often described in Islamic tradition as a model of modesty and piety. While specific details about her clothing aren't extensively documented, she is generally seen as wearing simple, modest mother. This emphasis on modesty in her life resonates with many cultures and religions, highlighting the importance of inner virtues over external appearances. If you want to explore more about her life or teachings, feel free to ask.
I just want to talk to you about how she used to dress.
Sure. Dressing modestly is often about feeling comfortable and confident while expressing your values. Many people choose clothes that are loose-fitting and cover the arms and legs. Fabrics like cotton or linen are popular for their comfort. Colors and styles can vary widely, allowing for personal expression. Ultimately, it's about finding a balance between your personal style and your beliefs. What aspects of dressing are you most interested in discussing?
I just want to talk to you about how the mother of Jesus uses to dress up.
Mary, the mother of Jesus, is often depicted as wearing simple, modest clothing that reflects her humility and piety. She likely wore long robes that covered her arms and legs, which was typical for women of her time. Her attire emphasized modesty and devotion rather than extravagance. This representation highlights her role as a virtuous and faithful woman. Is there a specific part of her attire or symbolism you'd like to explore further?
Can she be an example of a Muslim woman?
Yes, Mary is often viewed as an example of a virtuous woman in Islam. Her qualities of faith, devotion, and modesty resonate with the values many Muslims strive for. She embodies strength, patience, and a deep commitment to God, making her a role model for women in Islam. Her story emphasizes the importance of trust in God and the strength of a mother's love. Would you like to discuss how her example can inspire modern Muslim women?
Yes.
Mary's example can inspire modern Muslim women in several ways. Her unwavering faith and trust in God remind women to seek strength in their beliefs, especially during challenging times. Her resilience in the face of societal judgment highlights the importance of standing firm in one's values. Moreover, her role as a devoted mother emphasizes the significance of nurturing and guiding the next generation with love and faith. Mary's modesty and humility also serve as a reminder of the beauty and simplicity and the importance of inner virtues over outward appearances. How do you see her influence in today's context for Muslim women?
Well, that's fine. Absolutely. Muslim women dress the way she used to dress.
Exactly. Many Muslim women draw inspiration from Mary's modesty in their dress. They often choose loose-fitting clothing that covers the body, reflecting her values of humility and piety. This style not only expresses faith, but also promotes comfort and confidence. Her example reinforces the idea that modesty can be both beautiful and empowering. It shows how cultural and religious values can shape personal expression in fashion.
Wow, wow, wow. That was absolutely mind-blowing. All the answers that I got is aligned with Islamic religion. Yeah, I think she didn't quote a verse of Quran, but she answered absolutely everything correct. And I hope this video will help lots of people. And I will see you in the next video. Yeah, brothers and sisters, I talked to ChatGPT about mother. I talked to ChatGPT about Jesus' mother and the role she took in Jesus' life, the miracles he performed, and everything very much. If you watch this video to the end, please subscribe to the channel, like, comment, so the channel will spread and reach other audiences, and that will help me a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.